Welcome to the first of this two-part Blackboard Fridays conversation, where we're delving a little bit more deeper into capacity. If you go back to one of the first Blackboard Fridays episodes we actually shot, we talked about why growth is the most dangerous word in business because it can mean different things to different people. What we want to break down in this episode is the difference between focusing on being better, getting more revenue out of your existing resources, and being bigger, growing your business and your resources and increasing that capacity size. There are 6 ways to do each of these, and I'm going to give you a little bit of an example in each of those 6, today focusing on being better. So when is it appropriate for your business to focus on being better? It's best addressed when you find that your utilization rate, the actual revenue that you're generating from your team each month, has a large element of waste compared to that capacity. And that's why it's important to calculate your capacity and know exactly the dollar value of that waste. It gives you and your team the incentive to focus on being better, to reducing that waste. And there are 6 ways that you can do that, 6 categories. The first of those is better analytics and financials. To give you an example of a client of mine that worked on this, they pulled out an increasing amount of data from their sales team. They had a retail business doing counter sales, and what they discovered was that the variations in each individual sales performance was as much as 100% over the course of any given day. 2 people standing next to each other and one was selling twice what the other person was doing. That gave them the incentive to focus on some training to improve the sales skills of all of their team to grow that. But it was only when they actually had that analysis that they were able to break down the per salesperson data that they were able to identify that that was a gap in their business. Actually looking at the analytics and the financials in your business can help identify waste that you may not even realize exists. Better skills is an obvious one. The capability and training of your team is one that can make a real difference. One of my clients ran a training needs analysis and mapped out a 12-month program with their team. At the end of the 12 months, not only had they increased the skills of their entire team, but they'd also managed to build through that process a career progression journey so that new people coming into their industry had this level of skills, and they had a training program that helped make them seniors, managers, and eventually set them up to become partners in the business and build a succession plan, all as a result of focusing on skills to reduce waste. Better sales and a better sales system. This is an obvious one for most businesses when it comes to bringing in more revenue. I'm really excited at the moment because I got an email last week from one of my clients who's actually doubled their revenue turnover in the last 6 months. And this was the project we focused on, breaking down their sales activity and helping to empower those in the business who were going out and doing the sales through a very simple process. We discovered that the business owner in particular, while great at what he did and loving what he did, didn't exactly know what conversations to have in what order. Breaking down his sales process gave him a lot more confidence and a lot more focus, and doubling your revenue in 6 months is a goal that many businesses would love. Better brand and marketing is similar. If you don't have leads coming into your business, then there is almost certainly going to be waste. There's either going to be idleness in general, or there's going to be ups and downs where a busy month is followed by a quiet month because those new clients are not coming in. Have you got a clear brand archetype that stands for what your business represents? And have you got a marketing strategy linked to that to keep the flow of ideal clients coming through your door? Better culture. When your team are engaged, they will step up, they will go the extra yard, and they will help close that waste gap, create more revenue and therefore more profit for your business. Culture has a very clear return on investment. And if you're not clear what the return on investment is, then I'd love to have a conversation about how we could define that in dollar value for your business. And the last category of being better is better operations. And this really comes down to the structure of your team. Have you got the right people on the bus? And importantly, are they sitting in the right seats? I see this all the time, businesses that have grown into a capacity engine of this size, and they discovered that the fantastic office manager when they were small is now holding back a whole lot of information, is becoming a bottleneck. They need to restructure that business and get that individual to hand things over. Similarly, you as the business owner may be creating a bottleneck. You might have this great team underneath you capable of generating $1 million a month, but because most of the decisions still go through you, your capacity is holding back the capacity of the entire business. Understanding your operational structure gets you the right person doing the right job at the right time and reduces that waste. On average, when I go into a business and do some of these projects, we find profit increases by 20% in the 3 to 6 months we're designing the strategy. A 20% increase in your bottom line in that shorter time frame is a great outcome for just about any business owner, especially when it comes without having to invest in the growth. But of course, once you've addressed these, once you've minimized that waste, you need to make a decision to grow into a bigger engine. And that's going to be the topic of our conversation next week.